guys, today I'm going to be installing some highway pegs on my 6th generation Goldwing DCT Tour model. I decided to go with the Goldstrike highway pegs. It's three-way adjustable. I'm 6'3", and I think that would probably be the best for me in terms of, you know, having that multiple adjustment capability. I already have the Goldstrike Riders floorboards, which I find extremely comfortable. I just took a 1,500-mile trip, and you know, my knees were killing me. I found myself putting my feet up here on the engine cover. Doesn't get hot, it's plastic. I was reaching and trying to find places here, but you know, it's just my knees were really hurting after about 2 hours, and I felt uncomfortable after 2 hours. But you know, it was a 6-7 hour ride with stopping for fuel, and I still, after the 3rd, 4th hour, I was just in severe pain. So I had to make a stop every hour to stretch my legs. So the first thing you have to do, based on the instructions, is remove this plastic cover to expose basically this area. This is a torque screw T30, and there's going to be 3 of them. 1 back here and 2 in the front. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So make sure you're using the right one for the right side. They're stamped right here. Now, don't tighten these all the way yet. According to the instructions, you have to leave them loose. So I'm just going to hand tie them a little bit. All right, the next step, which is step number 4, is installing this U-bracket around the engine bar. So this is basically what it looks like. You get 2 of these, and you're going to need these 2. The hex bolt, which will go on top. This one will go right here. And then once you tighten these 2, you can go ahead and tighten this up. Step number 5 is installing this slider onto the bracket that we just installed. So basically secure all 3 of these. This one's a little tricky, but you can do it. It's a 10mm socket. You just have to take your time. And then go ahead and slide this to your desired position. Obviously, I'm 6'3", so I'm going to slide it all the way forward to give me as much leg room as possible. And this one is a H5. So the next step is to install this arm on the bracket. Okay, you want to install it higher up, because the lower you go, that's where you're going to have scraping. It actually talks about that in the instruction manual right here in red. And so make sure you avoid that. So I'm going to keep it up here and make my adjustments after. Now, what bolt to use here? As you can see, these 2 are almost identical. One's longer. The longer one is going to go below. So make sure you're using the longer hex for this part. And I'm just going to hand tie these for now, because anything that's adjustable, I don't want to tighten too much. Just want it to stay in place. For the next step, you're going to put this together. Now, it's important. There is a right and a wrong way of doing this. You'll know, because once you put it in here the wrong way, you see it's not flush. If you flip it, it'll let you know when it's correct. So as you can see there, that's flush. And we're going to be using this bolt with this pin. This might be a little tricky. What I did is to install this together, I got it set up like this, and then I basically put a flathead screwdriver with a hammer and 1 quick tap, and that was pretty easy. So now it's time to to go ahead and secure this on here. Just make sure, like we talked about, you don't have that much room, so this is where you're going to use the smaller bolt on this. It should go on fairly easy. So the next step is to put the actual floorboard on here. So we're going to go ahead and get that installed. By the way, it's this bolt here that comes with the washer and a small bag. So these two came separately than all the other bolts and washers. So that's how you know which one it is. Alright, so the finished product should look like this, where this is a little bit of hard to put up, a little bit of resistance. So once you install that washer, which by the way I initially forgot, so I just took this out and I tapped that in there and put it back together. So make sure you put that, because that's what's going to give it a little bit of resistance. Otherwise this is just going to fall down. All right, now we're going to put everything back together. Also, one tip when you're taking this off and putting it back on, be very careful with this plastic piece. When you're taking it off, if you don't know how to maneuver and slide it out, like I just put it in, you're going to break this right off. So just be careful. And earlier I forgot to tell you guys, once you take the fog light cover off or the light cover off, you're going to get another bolt that you have to remove. So don't forget about that. I didn't mention that earlier. Also, one more thing, I would leave this last piece. I mean, it's okay to figure out where you want to tighten it, but you do have to loosen this in order to put this plastic piece back on. So I've loosened it. I've got everything adjusted to where I want. As soon as I'm done putting this back on, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this. By the way, these are T30s. Alright, time to put this back on. Or I should say tighten. I will be taking a torque wrench to this after. Oh wow, what a difference. What a difference. All right, so that took about an hour on the first side. Obviously, first time you do something is always going to take the longest. I've already kind of prepped everything for the next side, so it should be a lot quicker. All right, guys, done with the installation. Total time of install took me about 2 hours. Keep in mind, most of the time was trying to figure out what part is what, reading the instructions. The assembly doesn't take that long. This side is the side I started with, and it took me about an hour. As soon as I finished this side and put it all back together, that side probably took me 15 minutes. That's just because, you know, I had done everything and knew kind of what goes where. But also when you open this side, you can put a lot of the pieces together for the other side, which will speed up your time. So I highly recommend that. But there was a Black Friday special on these, by the way. So these are the Goldstrike highway peg mounts. They're usually $3.99. And I think they were on Amazon for Black Friday at $3.59. So I do recommend these. Although I haven't used them, I've done a lot of research and reviews. Remember, I already have the Goldstrike floorboards, was real happy with the quality, and knew I needed highway pegs, and it seems like this is the best option. A lot of the other ones, you're basically installing a hanging mechanism from here, which I didn't like. The only thing I'm a little concerned with is dragging, but I'm tall, 6'3", so I installed them forward as possible. I really don't think it'll be an issue. Plus, I'm not taking this bike. I have 6 other bikes. If I'm going somewhere with a lot of twisties and trying to go fast on the corners, I'll take one of my other bikes. This is really a long touring bike for me, taking long trips, multi-state, 400 or 500 mile days. This is the bike that I'm going to be taking. The only other thing I would look into is if you're going to get an engine guard, or if maybe you want it mounted somewhere other than here, then getting an engine guard gives you a lot more flexibility. I was initially thinking of doing an engine guard, and keep in mind, this will not install with an engine guard. It will get in the way. So if you're going to do an engine guard, my recommendation is get the engine guard and then, search and figure out what kind of highway pegs you want. I think you'll have a lot more options available to you. But if you're keeping it factory, you're not going to do an engine guard, honestly, I think this is the best option for you. It just mounts right here below, and it was pretty easy to get going. So hopefully this will help you guys out if you're going to be doing any kind of highway peg installations. All right, thanks.